Gwendolyn, Lifestyle Sew. We're going to do, you can hear in the background, I've already got some lace. I'm going to do a lace star, and this is by Embroidery Online. I bought the pack, so I think it was $29 or something like that, because you need 10 parts, 10 of all the same for this star. You put it on, this bit's important, right? You need to have, it's a wash away stabilizer. This is wash away stabilizer. This is brothered. I find it's the cheapest and it works perfectly fine. Absolutely perfectly fine. And then we get our little little parts. See, now one side's got the eye and one side's got the hook. And then you're just going to put this on a piece of kitchen towel. I use some stabilizer to do it, which has done the job okay. But kitchen towel to absorb the moisture. Make sure it's not curling up, so you might have to turn them upside down. So if this is the right way up and it starts to curl up, just turn them up like that, flatten them, make sure they're going to dry flat. This is such a lovely idea to give. Now this is a 3D effect, it's not the flat, so it's a 3D effect. The same principle goes with any of the baubles that you actually are going to do from that collection. From that collection. So this is like your Christmas baubles that you're going to do for your tree. I've got a brand new Christmas tree this year, Balsam Hill. I've wanted it for years, and I bought it in, I think it was the end of February this year. So I'm quite excited to get that up, because the last one I've had for 20 years. I do like to, you know, and I recycled it as well. I gave it away. I didn't sell it, although it was actually in pretty good condition. But the needles start to drop, and quite a bit over the last 3 years. So I actually gave it to a lady, put it on Facebook, and somebody popped out and just took it away. So she's going to get at least another 5 years out of that, even maybe 10, before that actually really starts to look a bit naked. So I've got my new tree, so bought lots of new ornaments for my tree. I normally buy one a year, but this year, last year after Christmas in the sale, I bought a few. I'm going on next Saturday, go down to London to go to Liberties and buy some more, maybe a couple, because they're like a tenner each. Liberties is not just for fabric, it's for everything. It's like a household shop that does all sorts of beautiful stuff. So it really is, if you come to London or wherever you are, whether you're in England or abroad, it is really a nice day out to have a look down there. We're also, of course, going to Harrods, because Harrods is also beautiful and lovely. I don't know if you'd be interested in me actually taking my camera and showing you around that. If you did, let me know in the comments, and I might be able to do that for you, give you a quick overview on some different bits and pieces. And of course the fabric, we'll be going to the fabric store in Liberties. So on with the video, and I'll just show you what we're doing. So I'll just over it. So I've got a needle, an embroidery needle 75. I've got my plate on. Just is it the 26 foot? This is a Banina machine, 26 foot, and I'm just giving you the settings. Then all the rest of the settings is straight. Now you are going to agree with me that and there you go on the back of it, it's absolutely perfect. There's no gathering or threads on the back or breaking, or, you know, it's put your hoop in and off you go. And I'm, like I say, I'm using the long arm hoop because it's got the ratchet that you can take it off, so it's the oval. And just for your reference, I use bobbin thread, and I keep it in a bag because I've got an overlocker and they all look the same regardless. So all my bobbins are normally done with this white one. I need a black one as well, really. So this is the OESD, so Embroidery Online bobbin thread, and it's a polyester. And then when I finish, I'll make sure I put it back in the bag. Although I have put a sticker inside, little sticker with that information, just in case, you know, I have a lapse of memory and stick it out and forget to put it away. But bobbin thread. To do this star, you're looking at 6 hours of embroidery. You can do it, hoop it twice, and do 5 at a time, which obviously is going to be 3 hours to do all of them. Or you can, because that's what I did, but that's not what I would have done if I realised I was doing 10. I've got my mind set at 6 like most of the other baubles. I should have looked at the instructions as you do, but it was 10, so I re-hooped again. And the nicest thing about when you're hooping this is it gets tighter as they go around, so that's why you're going to get perfect. So you do the first lace, and of course it's bringing in that stabilizer, and then the next one, and it's bringing it in. So it actually, the drummer of the actual embroidery stabilizer gets tighter and tighter because we've used these little clips, and I just put them in. That stops that stabilizer from moving. You also can use D-pins. You also can tape round, double-edged tape. Lots of embroidery people do that. Use double-edged tape all the way around the hoop, so when they put that, it actually stays in place and it doesn't move. But I don't like to do that. It gums up the actual hoop, so I don't like that. So this is what I use. And it just says clover. I don't know if that came back to front. It came back to front when I was looking at it. Fork pins. I use them for dressmaking too. You know, if you want to get things, and in quilting, if you want to get things that butt up perfect, like your collars and things, then these, when you're sewing, because they're like pins, it's a double pin really, and it just keeps that really, you know, the fabric won't move, so therefore you're going to get the perfect alignment with every penny. They're not very dear, but they are, my opinion, if you do any type of sewing, this sort of little pin. I don't use the D pins. I have got them somewhere. I actually don't use the D pins very much at all. This was a test. So this is what I bought. Can you see? Now I paid just nearly £10 for this, for 500. Can't get that one out. Reels. And I mean, there's no bigger test than doing lace. That is perfect. No breakage, nothing. Went straight through. Absolutely a bargain. Absolute bargain. So I've got Benina 790 plus. So, and the Benina 790 is just without the embroidery machine. That's it. The 790 plus is the embroidery machine. But that is worth every penny. That's going to last a serious long time. So will I be buying this make again? Absolutely. It says ISO certificated. Oh, I just love it. Very, 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 very great value. It's a 40 weight, which so it's a 40 weight on top. Link will go down below for on Show More, and I'll have all the links for some of the stuff I've used. So therefore, and the link to the site so you can get these baubles. I have bought lace stuff before, but they've been flat, and I have the had the little flat ones and put them on the Christmas tree, but they're very delicate and they've got no real presence, and so it's okay on a smaller Christmas tree, because actually they are smaller ornaments really, But on a bigger Christmas tree, they get lost. You need something a little bit bigger, and you need, in my opinion, 3D works the best, because it's like, and these ornaments are an heirloom really when you make them. They really are. Somebody asked me the other day, have I had a perm? No. This is my natural hair. It's and it's normally quite shaggy, you know, shaggy curl going down, but with a hormonal change it's gone a lot more curlier. And as soon as a tiny bit of moisture in the hair, so I normally blow dry it straight or straightish, or bigger curls, put curlers in it and have bigger curls. But as soon as I go out into any type of moisture in the air, when I come back, voila, this is what I get. So I'm sort of like getting used to the change, having it curly all the time. It just needs to grow. I made the mistake of having it cut, and it's actually down here, really. I blow dry it straight, it's actually down here. But because of the curl, it bounces up and bounces up. And after a couple of days, I normally used to wash it every other day, but I'm trying to make it every third day that I wash it. But by the third day, it goes up and out. And you know, you get these like curls that I've got. I don't know if anybody else has hormonal changes, and the hair's gone like this, but that's the reason. Anyway, I just thought I'd put that out there so you know, you understand what's going on. There's 3, there's probably more. When you rinse this out, just make sure you don't over rinse it out, if that makes sense. You just want it to disappear, so you want it to sort of be see-through-y, but at the same time you want it to feel a bit sticky. So that means it's got some substance to it. Or you can dissolve more of this in some water and just slap it. If you dissolve it out completely, you can just dissolve some of this in water and then just, you know, rub it all over it. And then when that dries, it will dry harder. That's the simplest way. Or you can actually, if you want them to last for years, without any moisture, you know, because at the end of the day it's a bit like sugar. Once it gets wet, it will dissolve. You can use the glue, the white craft glue, dilute it down, and then just paint, you know, just get a brush and paint it on. It'll be clear when it's finished. I always would do it on the back. That will work perfectly. You know, he's complaining a bit because he's been outside, he's been out the door, and there's nowhere for him to sit in here. Normally he likes to sit next to me when we do anything, especially when I dress make. Unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable. Nearly all the videos of dressmaking, he's in it. But I didn't want him to jump up while the machine's going, and I've got all this lace out, so I thought I'd give him a quick pick up. I know. I've got my daughter's dog, they're picking it up today. They've been on holiday for 10 days. That's, he's like 10 going on 11, working Cocker Spaniel. And then, as I said before, I've got my 9-month-old Cocker Spaniel. Molly doesn't really count, but she's an 8-year-old going on 15. A very, very gentle, calm poodle. And then we've got the cat. Ludo, who's the older spaniel. Couldn't care less about the cat. It's been here before with the cat. He'll come up and greet it, give it a kiss, and that's it. But Jasper, who's a younger dog, thinks the cat's just a toy. He is very, you know, when you say stop, he'll stop and all the rest of it, but it's where if Ludo comes upstairs, Snow will just, you know, just sit there and Ludo will just walk by him, doesn't care less. But when Jasper comes upstairs, he likes to get out of the way. I mean, sometimes he'll walk by him, and sometimes I'll say, stop, Jasper, and he's very good. He will stop and he won't do it, but he's a puppy. He just needs a little bit, you know, calming down. And obviously, Fifi, that was my old poodle, Molly and Snow run around and play together. But they haven't done a lot of that since Jasper's been here. Jasper would also like to play, but Molly's not too keen at playing with him because he's too rough. all about, you know, the chilling out. The time will come, everybody will be all in sync together. But Ludo's going back today. My daughter's coming back from holiday, so they'll be picking him up this afternoon to take him home. And he is an absolute dream to look after. He's so well behaved, and he really is just, you know, the older dog that the younger dog can learn from. Absolutely lovely dog. This is fabric glue. And I put a dollop of this in a tiny bit of water. I've used a cup. I've rinsed the cup out so it's nice and clean in here. You can use a little dish. Just put some. You're diluting it down basically. And you know, if you've got a little mixture of some sort, I'm using my fingers because I'm going to be using my fingers to put it on. You just want to just sort of like just keep on mixing it round, and eventually it'll sort of dissolve into the water. And that's what I'm after. So it looks quite milky. I can't see, it's quite milky. And the machine stopped, so we need to press to go again. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm using this to take all the glue off because I want the glue to come out of the actual, you know, see-through bits. So it's naked. There's a fraction in there. This still got a little tiny bit of glue on this, but I want it a little bit more stiffer. So this, when it dries, it'll dry clear. So you're not going to see any gluey bits or tackiness. It's just going to dry clear. It'll be a stiffener. And or you can use spray starch, they say. You can use dissolve some of your stabiliser in water and use that to stiffen it up. It's up to you how you want to do it. I'm just using this glue. It doesn't have to be fabric glue. It can be your craft white glue that you get. Mix that in water. That dries clear. And to do all of that. I'm just getting it nice and that. And all I'm going to do is on the back, you can see very clearly what the back is because the actual embroidery is more prominent on the front and it's more smoother, flatter on the back. So on the back, I'm just going to rub some of that glue over the top of that. Just like that. And then I'm going to just place it down to dry. To check it, and that's all we're going to do. Just going to stabilise, and I am going to still use this hoop. This is the long arm free arm hoop, which you don't need to use it as that. I'm using it because it's got this ratchet system, and I love this ratchet system. So you need two double layers of water-soluble stabiliser, but you do need the fabric type rather than the topper type. So it's like most of the stabilisers, really. This is actually really quite soft. Now this is a brothered stabiliser. So we've got two layers on top. Like that, and all I'm doing is putting my hoop onto it now. Actually, can you see? I'll go over there and put it down properly. And I'll put my hoop onto it, make it nice and smooth. My hoop's gone into it. I'm pulling this and making sure it's, I'm turning my ratchet a bit to get a bit pressure onto it. I am pulling it out. I want this nice and firm. Don't want it going anywhere. Okay, it clicks. One, and then I plussed it until I got all 6, and then I put them in place. But to be absolutely honest, you can plus it one, not in this screen, in the previous screen, and then put them in place, and then plus it again and put it in place, and plus it again and put it in place until you have all of them. And then you just press the I again, and it'll bring it back to the screen
where we've got the needle, because you can't move forward unless it's got the needle. So you have to come back until you get the needle. Now we're ready to go to sew, but we do need to check it. So we've got the right foot on. Yep. We've got the right hoop in. Yep. We've got the right plate on. So you get one pin, and this is a clover one. Look, fork pins. You get one thin, fairly fine, and you're putting it into you're putting it into the side of the little tiny space in between. So one goes into that little tiny space, and you're putting it down like that. And we're only doing this so the stabilizer does not jump down. I do not want it to jump down. And ordinarily, I don't necessarily do this. But this lace stuff is a little sensitive. Go around in a circle, and if we can see that these little bubbles, I've got myself stuck. These little bubbles need to go into those little bubbles. And basically what I found is I'm going to push those little bubbles on top in with this. Just push it in. It's hard. And then when you get to the other side, when you get to the back, then you pull it through, and then I twist it to the other side. So it's not just, so I twist it, get hold of the bubble, and then I twist it so it's that way. At the moment it's this way. We go and make the next 5, and then we attach them onto the back of this lot. Some little tips about this Christmas star ornament. Right, first of all, it does say in the instructions that you can get Hermesite's forceps, which is these. They're locking, they've got little grips on the end. You can get them all different sizes. This is a 6-inch size, and the locking is here. So when it clips together, you open it up, you put it through and pull it back. Yes, they would work, but they do not go into the eyelet at all. That is far, far, far too fat for that. Do not waste your money buying these. Even if you've got I think this is 6-inch. I don't know if they go down so finer, but you would have to go down so, you know, I'm not even sure they do it that tinier than maybe 5-inch, 4-inch. It's even so, the way that that's done to get the grip, useless, but I will keep it for doing other projects because it was only £4 on Amazon. This is what you want. I got this with the serger. It's got a very, very, very sharp pointy end. It fits perfect in the hole. See, it fits perfect in the little eyelet. Yeah, don't shove it too far in, because if you shove it too far in, it'll close it up. So you just need to, I'll show you the trick to this. You actually don't put it in like that anyway. What you have to do is get your bauble on the other thing. Don't wait until they're completely dry. I thought I'd do it the next day. The next day it's going to be completely dry and hard, basically. And if that bauble's really hard, you're not going to be able to squish it in. Squeeze, is that a word? Whatever it is, you know what I mean. You're not going to be able to get that little bauble into that eyelet, no matter how much you push it, because it's going to be quite hard, because you've put, you know, your coatings on it and all the rest of it, and it's dried pretty stiff. This hasn't got the other coating, the glue coating on that I put on my other one, so it's a little bit more flexible. But even so, it would be a tough order trying to get that in, and it'd be damned hard work. So leave it for about 3 hours until it's sort of like touch dry. Well, it will be touch dry. It'll be sort of like dry, but the ends will still it'll still have a little bit of flexibility, a little bit of softness to it. And then when you put this eyelet over, can you see it? That little bobble to go into the eyelet. First of all, you get the really pointy end, and you'll push one side of it in and just squeeze one side of it in.
and really push. You can really use the end to, you won't, you know, with the needles. See, if I try to do it now and it says in the instructions, wait till it's dry, that would be a mistake. So really push it in, and you can sort of like get the end in and then use the other side and pull it through. And then when I pulled it through, so I pulled it through straight, I basically twisted it the opposite way. So I pulled it through out and then twisted it, because I knew when it's going to be dry, it would be perfect, as it was. So I did show you how to put in, you know, I bought the nice tinsely stuff, and I did use a bauble. You don't need to use a bauble. You don't need to use one of these on the star, to be honest. It's up to you. You can just thread this through and tie a big knot in the bottom, or even stitch it in, or whatever it is, to make it even more secure, and use it without one of these. So, but I did put one in, and it's absolutely fine. So there's my magnificent star. It's quite firm because it's got the glue on, you know, the watered down glue on. Yeah, really nice ornament that you're going to get out of this one. Now, it's hours. It's like 6 hours or something. It's a long time for one ornament. You know, it really is. Now, if you do a bauble, it's 5 pieces. So if you do 10 pieces, obviously you're going to make 2 baubles at the same time. But, you know, the amount of time that I put in to do this, it is very nice. But for people who think, oh, I'll knock these out in craft stores, forget it. You won't earn a penny. Because it took 3 bobbins to do this one. 3 bobbins full to do it. Which shocked me because of the amount of stitches in it. There's you know, a lot of stitches in it. So it's taken a lot of cotton to actually do this, and a lot of time. And you do have to watch your machine. You really do have to watch it. Because even with my machine, onto this, the first 5 were fine. Onto the second hooping, it decided, it just slipped out of the guide at the top. Obviously, when I rethreaded it, and had a little bit of a problem with it, and what the hell's going on there, and then backtracked, because I knew it's got to be perfect. It's got to be the machine. I've done something wrong, and I did notice it was just outside of the pressure guides at the top, which is, you know, at the top of your machine when you thread it through, you have 2 discs. It's got to be in the middle of those discs, and it wasn't, for some unknown reason. It jumped out and it was on the side. And that was when I rethreaded it, and I missed putting it in the disc, and it caused all sorts of problems. But, you know, you're a sewist. You know, if it's sewn perfectly well before, it's something you've done. And it also needed to be re-oiled halfway through this as well. That's vitally important if you do this star. It does need, because it takes so many stitches, and it's 3 bobbins worth. I mean, normally I use a bobbin lasts me for ages and ages. But obviously this, it didn't. So please take note of that. It's a nice little, it's a beautiful gift to give to somebody, but you can't knock them out. You really, you know, you really can't knock them out. So this will be something nice for the Christmas tree that I will do. And, but I will do baubles. I'll do baubles next time. And not only that, I like the baubles, but if you do the baubles, make sure you have some sort of like, for the applique side of it, because it's got little bits of material in some of the baubles, something nice. So something really nice that you can actually put in, and that's going to really shine. So it looks very Christmassy, it looks very professional. And so that's it. I hope you enjoyed, or didn't hope you, I hope you learned something, or I've given you some tips to do something, but hopefully you got some value out of that. So please share the video, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.